Have you ever noticed how some people can drain your energy faster than your phone battery on 1%? You start the day feeling great, full of plans, and then someone shows up with drama, criticism, or endless complaints. And suddenly, your mood drops faster than a Wi-Fi signal in the mountains. The truth is, we all have people in our lives who affect us more than we realize. And sometimes, it's not what they say that hurts us the most. It's what we allow to stay in our minds. Psychologists at Harvard, like Dr. David McClelland, found that the people you spend time with can determine up to 95% of your success or failure in life. 95%. That's almost everything. So if that's true, and it is, then maybe the most powerful skill we can learn today is the art of ignoring. Now let's get one thing straight. Ignoring people doesn't mean being rude or cold. It means protecting your peace. It means deciding that not everyone deserves a seat at your table, or even access to your energy. You see, in life, we can't always choose who crosses our path, but we can choose who stays. And sometimes, the smartest thing you can do for your happiness is simply not respond. Not every text, not every argument, not every piece of drama needs your attention. Let's be honest. Most of us were raised to be polite, to listen, to help others. But somewhere along the way, we forgot that we also have the right to protect our own emotional space. Ignoring is not a weakness. It's emotional strength. It's self-care in action. Think about it this way. Your attention is like currency. You only have so much of it every day. So why spend it on people who constantly overdraft your emotional account? You wouldn't let someone steal money from your wallet. So why let them steal your peace of mind? Ignoring doesn't mean hate. It means clarity. It means realizing that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to reply to every insult. You don't even have to justify why you're done. Silence is also a response. As ancient philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And sometimes, the best reaction is no reaction at all. So in this video, we'll talk about 6 types of people you must learn to ignore if you truly want to be happy. These are the emotional energy vampires, the dream killers, the manipulators, and the never-satisfied ones. You'll probably recognize a few of them, maybe even more than you'd like. And don't worry, we'll also talk about how to ignore them, because just saying ignore them is easy. Doing it in real life, especially when it's your friend, co-worker, or even family member, that's the real challenge. But by the end of this video, you'll see that ignoring is not about arrogance. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing your worth and not letting anyone discount it. So, take a deep breath and get ready to detox your life, one person at a time. Let's start with the first type, the one that loves drama more than Netflix. Let's start with the first type of person you must ignore, the drama queen. You know the one. The person who somehow manages to turn every tiny inconvenience into a full-blown emotional earthquake. Their coffee is cold. It's the end of the world. Someone didn't reply to their message for 2 minutes. Betrayal of the century. They thrive on chaos. It's like emotional caffeine for them. If there isn't a problem, they'll invent one just to feel alive. And here's the thing. The more you react, the more you feed them. Drama queens survive on attention. They don't want solutions. They want reactions. The moment you offer logic, they'll twist it into another reason to complain. You say, maybe it's not that bad. And suddenly, you're the villain in their soap opera. The best way to deal with a drama queen is to stop auditioning for a role in their story. Don't try to calm them. Don't argue. Don't defend yourself. Just step out of the scene. When you stop reacting, their drama loses oxygen. And without oxygen, even the biggest fire burns out. Psychologists call this extinction through non-reinforcement. Sounds fancy, right? But it simply means if you stop feeding the behavior, it eventually disappears. Think of a toddler throwing a tantrum. If you keep giving candy every time they scream, they'll keep screaming. But once you stop reacting, they realize, wait, this doesn't work anymore. Adults aren't that different. Some people never grew out of needing attention to feel important, and that's why ignoring them is not cruelty. It's emotional discipline. You're teaching them, without saying a word, that your peace is not for sale. Here's a little humor. You can even imagine yourself as a Zen master in an action movie. The drama queen is yelling, throwing emotional grenades, and you're just sipping tea, calm and unbothered. The power of ignoring doesn't lie in silence alone. It lies in detachment. You stop absorbing their chaos as if it's your job to fix it. As author Eckhart Tolle says, don't take the drama of others into your mind. What's theirs? Leave with them. So, next time someone tries to drag you into their emotional storm, remember, you don't have to get wet just because it's raining on their side. Your job is to protect your calm, not to manage someone else's chaos. And once you learn that, life starts to feel lighter, quieter, like fresh air after a storm. All right, that's the first type. The drama lover, the chaos magnet. You know exactly who that is in your life. Up next, the second type of person you must ignore. The one who can never, ever be satisfied, no matter what you do. The second type of person you must ignore is the one you can never please. You could climb Mount Everest for them, and they'd still complain you didn't do it fast enough. These are the people who always find the flaw, no matter what. You get a promotion. They say it's luck. You start a new project. They say it'll never work. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. Because their approval isn't about you. It's about them. People like this need to feel superior. Finding flaws in others makes them feel important. They wear perfectionism like armor. But underneath, there's usually insecurity, fear, and comparison. Psychologists call this projected dissatisfaction. They project their own unhappiness onto everyone around them. So even if you do everything right, they'll move the goalpost, because what they really want is not perfection from you, it's control over you. The more you chase their approval, the more power they gain. And let's be honest, trying to please everyone is like trying to fill a bucket with no bottom. You'll pour and pour, and it'll never be full. You'll just end up exhausted, mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically. The solution? Stop auditioning for their approval. You don't need a standing ovation from people who never clap for anyone. When someone constantly criticizes you, it's usually because your existence reminds them of what they're not doing. Your progress triggers their insecurity. Your joy highlights their emptiness. So, the best revenge is not argument. It's distance. You don't owe them explanations, proof, or endless effort to win them over. As the saying goes, stop watering dead plants. Some connections simply don't grow. Here's a little story. Imagine you bake a beautiful cake. You share it with a friend, and they say, "Well, the frosting's too sweet." Next time, you fix it. They say, "Now it's too dry." And after a few rounds, you realize they don't want cake. They just want to complain. So, what do? You stop baking for them. You save your energy for people who actually appreciate your effort. You see, people who can never be pleased often live in emotional debt. They take from everyone around them because they never learned how to give. But your happiness doesn't depend on their balance sheet. You don't need their approval stamp to feel worthy. When you stop chasing approval, you become free, truly free. Free to make mistakes, free to be imperfect, free to enjoy your progress without waiting for applause. Remember, even the most perfect sunset has someone who says, "It's too orange." So, smile, keep moving, and let their discontent echo behind you while you walk toward your peace. Because in the end, happiness doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from pleasing your soul. And speaking of soul, the next type of person you must ignore is the one who tries to crush your spirit before your dreams even take flight. The third type of person you must ignore is the dream crusher, also known as the Naysayer. You know the type. You share your dream, your goal, your plan, and before you even finish your sentence, they jump in with, "That'll never work." They look at your excitement and reply with doubt. They see your hope and they bring a bucket of cold water. These people are everywhere. At work, in your family, even among your friends. They say things like, "Be realistic," or "That's not how the world works," or my personal favorite, "You're wasting your time." What they really mean is, "I'm too scared to try, so I don't want you to try either." Naysayers project their own fears onto your future. They don't hate your dream. They hate what it reminds them of, their own unrealized potential. When you talk about your goals, it triggers the part of them that once believed and then gave up. So instead of cheering you on, they try to bring you down, just to feel comfortable again. But remember, comfort zones never produce greatness. If you listen to naysayers long enough, you'll start doubting yourself. Their voice will become your inner voice. That's why ignoring them isn't rude. It's self-preservation. So, how do you deal with them? You don't argue. You don't try to convince them. You prove them wrong by living your truth. When they say, "You can't," smile and say, "Watch me." Let your results do the talking, because success is the sweetest silence. Think about every great person in history. They all had naysayers. When Edison wanted to invent the light bulb, people said he was crazy. When the Wright brothers wanted to fly, they said it was impossible. Imagine if they had listened. We'd still be sitting in the dark, grounded. The truth is, people who never try will always criticize those who do. Because effort exposes laziness. Courage exposes fear. Every "that's impossible" you hear is actually a confession. I wouldn't dare to try. So don't let their fear become your future. Protect your vision like a seed. Nurture it in silence. Water it with effort. And let it grow in its own time. And when it blooms, the same people who doubted you will say, "I always believed in you." Smile and forgive them. Because they never doubted you. They doubted themselves. So, keep your dreams guarded. Share them only with people who add fuel, not water. Because in the end, your dream doesn't need their permission, only your persistence. Now, let's talk about another type of person who can drain your energy. Not with doubt, but with manipulation. The fourth type of person you must ignore is the manipulator. These people are masters of emotional chess. They always make the first move, and somehow you always end up in checkmate. Manipulators know exactly which buttons to press: guilt, sympathy, fear, obligation. They'll say things like, "After all I've done for you," or "You're the only one I can count on." And before you know it, you're helping them again, even though you promised yourself last time would be the last time. Manipulators are like emotional pickpockets. While you think you're being kind, they're quietly stealing your peace of mind. They thrive on confusion. The more you doubt yourself, the easier it is for them to control you. And here's the tricky part. They often look so innocent. They might cry. They might act hurt. They might twist every situation until somehow you're the villain. But make no mistake, manipulation is not love. It's control wearing a mask. So how do you deal with a manipulator? First, stop blaming yourself. They're experts at making you feel guilty for saying no. They'll twist kindness into weakness. But setting boundaries doesn't make you cruel. It makes you clear. Learn to recognize emotional traps. If someone's request sounds unfair, it probably is. Instead of reacting instantly, pause, take a breath. Use the magic phrase, "I'll think about it." That single sentence gives you back control, because manipulators hate waiting. Next, ask questions that flip the script. Do you think that's fair? Or, would you do the same for me? These questions shine light into their shadow. And manipulators hate the spotlight. And finally, know when to walk away. You can't outsmart someone who's dedicated their life to control. You can only protect yourself by refusing to play. It's like arguing with a spider inside its web. The more you fight, the more entangled you become. So the best strategy is simple. Don't step into the web. You don't owe anyone your energy, your time, or your emotional peace, especially not to those who drain it. Healthy relationships are built on respect, not guilt. If someone only loves you when you obey, that's not love, that's control. Remember, boundaries don't push people away. They protect the right ones from being lost in the wrong crowd. So, if someone constantly tries to pull your strings, cut the strings. Your peace is priceless. Don't trade it for someone's manipulation. And as we move forward, let's talk about another type of person who's equally dangerous. The one who doesn't want you to grow. The fifth type of person you must ignore is the one who won't let you grow. You know this person. The one who says, "You've changed," like it's an insult. They liked you better when you were smaller, quieter, easier to control. But growth is not betrayal. It's evolution. The truth is, when you start improving your life, not everyone will clap for you. Some people will feel threatened by your progress because your growth exposes their stagnation. It's like you're climbing a mountain, and instead of joining you, they stand at the bottom yelling, "Come back down." It's safer here. But you weren't born to stay safe. You were born to grow. The ones who don't want you to grow will use guilt as their favorite tool. You've changed since you got that job. You think you're better than us now. But change is not arrogance, it's awareness. And sometimes you outgrow people without any drama, without any fight. Just quietly, like a snake shedding old skin. They may try to guilt trip you into staying the same, because your change reminds them of what they refuse to do. But remember, you don't owe anyone your past self. You're allowed to become a new version of yourself, again and again. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who control others. They're the ones who master themselves. Growth can be lonely, yes, but so is staying stuck. At least when you grow, you're moving forward. When you stay the same, you're just standing in a comfort zone, which is really just a waiting room for regret. So don't let anyone hold you hostage to who you used to be. You can love people and still outgrow them. You can wish them well from a distance. If someone truly loves you, they'll celebrate your growth, not fear it. They'll cheer when you climb higher, not guilt trip you for leaving the ground. So, when someone says, "You've changed," smile and say, "I hope so." Because growth is the point. Change is the goal. Every time you evolve, you step closer to the person you were always meant to be. So don't dim your light just because someone else prefers the dark. And remember, you can't fly if you keep holding hands with those who refuse to leave the ground. Growth isn't selfish. It's necessary. Ignore those who want to keep you small, because the world needs you big, bright, and brave. And that brings us to the final message of this journey: why ignoring certain people isn't cruel. It's an act of self-love, so now you know them. The 6 people you must ignore to be happy: the critic, the victim, the drama lover, the manipulator, the one who won't let you grow. And yes, sometimes even your own inner voice. Because sometimes the loudest voice you need to ignore is the one inside your head saying, "You're not enough." The art of ignoring is not about pretending people don't exist. It's about knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. It's about protecting your energy like it's your life, because it is. Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of attention, like a battery that slowly runs down. You can't waste it on negativity, gossip, drama, or manipulation, because that's how you end the day emotionally empty. But when you learn to ignore wisely, something magical happens. You stop reacting to everything that doesn't deserve you. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. And suddenly, peace starts to feel familiar. You start noticing how light your days feel, how calm your mornings become when you no longer carry other people's noise. The world doesn't change, but your focus does. And where your focus goes, your happiness grows. Ignoring is not coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to say, "I choose peace over chaos." And that's not selfish, that's wisdom. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than any argument. And the more you practice ignoring, the more you'll realize how many things were never worth your reaction in the first place. So, take this as a gentle reminder. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to live in peace, to grow, to shine. Don't dim your light trying to warm people who prefer the dark. Protect your peace the way you protect your dreams, fiercely and without apology. And when you do, you'll notice something beautiful. The right people will stay, the wrong ones will fade, and what's left will finally feel like home. So, go ahead, master the art of peaceful ignoring. Because happiness doesn't always come from adding more. Sometimes, it comes from subtracting what drains you. Thank you for watching. And remember, protecting your peace is not selfish. It's your superpower. Stay peaceful. Stay kind. Stay growing. If this message touched something inside you, maybe made you smile or think, or simply breathe a little lighter, then you're already on the right path. Life is a wild ride, full of people, patterns, and lessons. And sometimes, the best way to move forward is simply to let go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. In the comments, share your thoughts. What worries you? What part of the human mind or behavior you'd love to understand better? Or maybe tell us if you'd like to see more fun facts about animals. Your ideas help shape the next stories we tell, because this channel grows with you. So, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and I'll see you in the next video.